Welcome to the NAV GDPR introductory demo. Today we will give a run through of the main features of the NAV GDPR module and how you can use our module to achieve GDPR compliance for your NAV database. We will look at a few features to demonstrate how configurable our toolset is and how you can set the toolset up for your NAV database. We will look at the data subject type card, which is a profile of the different types of people in your database. We will look at the database scan tool. So this is how we search through the database to find where the personal information is. We'll then look at the data protection request card. This is where we can process the day-to-day requests that come into a business. Okay, so the data subject type card we have here. We have 3 examples here for customer, employee, and vendor. Our toolset is completely configurable, so you could set up a profile for any type of table you'd like. If it was an educational company, you can have a profile for students or teachers. We will have a look at the customer profile here. We can see the different sections. The first section here is for general setup. The data subject type lines are a list of tables that contain the personal information for this profile. Currently it's empty. Our scan will populate that. We then have the retention periods. So how long do we store information for? We have the aging method. So this is set up, which allows us to determine how old a person's data is. I will close the data subject type card and open up the database scan. The database scan we can use to go through all the tables and search for personal information. We'll start our scan. We'll choose the customer profile and the scan will begin. It is now searching through all the tables in the NAV database, finding where the personal information is. Our database scan is now finished and we can see the results of the scan. We have a list of tables that contain the personal information in our database. If we click on one of these records and select fields, we can see the fields that contain the personal information. If we click on linked fields, we can see what fields link our scan result table back to our source table. So for example here, our sales shipment header is linked back to our customer table. The next step is to approve the results. So we'll go through each table, click on the Fields button, and approve the results that we are happy with. Okay, for the purpose of demonstration, I quickly paused the video and I've approved a few tables. So I approved customer, sales shipment header, and sales invoice header. So just 3 tables for a simple example. If we look on fields, we can now see the fields that I just approved. Likewise for sales shipment header and sales invoice header. Our next step is to save the approved results. These results are now saved. We will open up the customer profile and we can now see the 3 tables which we have just saved and approved are linked against the data subject type profile. If we look at fields on the line level, we can see the fields that we've just approved. So now we can see how we're building up profiles of the different types of people in our database, and we've got a very accurate representation of whereabouts the data is stored for these types of people. So now that our data subject type profile for customer is set up, we'll close this down and we will have a look at processing day-to-day requests for data protection. To process the day-to-day data protection requests, we go to the Home tab and we select Data Protection Request Card. We'll select New, and here we can fill out the fields for our particular data protection request. If I select Request Type, we can see the different types of requests that we can process. For this demonstration, we will process an access request and a right to erasure. Okay, so the right of access, we'll select the type. We'll select the type of person that it is, for example, a customer, and we'll select the particular person we want to process for. We can then release and register the request. This will produce a report to show all the information for that customer. We'll tick yes to transactional information and we'll preview the report. The report shows us all information we're obliged to show a person for a data protection access request. It includes the data protection officer information if we have one, how long we'll keep the information for, what the person's rights are, and importantly, what information we hold about the person. So as you can see, we have the customer table, the sales shipment header, sales invoice header tables with all the information we hold for this person. That can then be sent to the customer, and we've fulfilled our first obligation for access requests under GDPR rules. We'll process the next request, which is for erasure. Again, we select the request type, we select data subject type, and we select the subject. Again, we can choose the same customer. For erasure requests, we can run erasure test report. And when we're happy with what we're going to delete, we can release the request and register the request. This is processed. If we look at the customer now, we can see for that customer, 10,000, the person's information has now been encrypted. The fields which have been encrypted are the exact same ones that we approved on our database scan. If we look at posted sales shipment headers or posted sales invoices, again, all these records have been encrypted, only for the fields which we approved on our database scan. If we wish to, we can reverse the encryption. That now concludes our demonstration, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.